everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to be talking about something I've personally been super curious about lately, financial coaching.
Yeah, great topic.
We're going to be taking a close look at a 2021 report
Oh, cool.
from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB,
Okay.
all about their nationwide financial coaching initiative.
Sounds good. Yeah, this report is really fascinating, just full of insights about what financial coaching is and what it can really do for people.
Now, the CFPB, they're all about helping people make smart financial decisions, right?
Yeah, absolutely. They're a government agency.
Yeah.
And their whole mission is to empower consumers.
Mm-hmm.
And, this report kind of gives us a glimpse behind the scenes at how they actually brought financial coaching to thousands of people all across the U.S.
So before we get into the details of the initiative itself, let's just start with the basics. What exactly is financial coaching?
Right.
Like for someone who's, maybe never even heard of it, how would you describe it?
That's a great question, because a lot of people, when they hear financial coaching, they think, oh, is that just like financial advice?
Right. Yeah, is it the same thing?
And it's really not. They're very different. So a good way to think about it is financial advice is kind of like, getting a prescription from a doctor.
Oh, okay.
You go to the doctor and they tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah.
But financial coaching is more like having like a personal trainer, but for your money.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
Right? So they help you figure out what your own personal goals are, then create a plan to actually achieve them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're there to provide that ongoing support and motivation along the way.
Gotcha. So it's not so much about being told what to do, but it's more about like being empowered to make your own decisions. Right?
Exactly. And it's about building those healthy financial habits that'll really stick with you, not just like, a quick fix.
That makes sense.
Ah.
So let's dive into the CFPB initiative a little bit. How did they actually go about bringing financial coaching to so many people? What was their process?
Yeah, well, so they ran this initiative from 2015 to 2019.
Okay.
And during that time, they actually trained 60 professional financial coaches.
Wow.
And then these coaches were placed in a whole bunch of different host organizations all around the country.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we're talking about like one-stop career centers, legal aid groups, social service organizations, all kinds of places.
So they were really trying to meet people where they were, it sounds like.
Yeah, exactly. And their main goal was to provide, free one-on-one coaching to both veterans and what they called economically vulnerable consumers.
Okay.
And the reach was actually really impressive. They ended up coaching over 23,000 clients.
23,000. Wow, that's amazing. So I'm sure working with that many people, they must have uncovered some really interesting insights about the folks that they were serving. Did anything like unexpected pop up in the data?
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that really surprised them was the age range of their clients. It wasn't just, like young people just starting out in their careers. They had clients who were nearing retirement.
Wow.
So it really just shows that, financial coaching is something that's relevant no matter what stage of life you're in.
Makes sense, yeah. Money matters can definitely pop up no matter how old you are. Any other interesting demographics that they found?
Yeah, this was another kind of surprising one. While the program, was designed to serve both veterans and economically vulnerable consumers, a full 70% of the clients at the economically vulnerable sites were women.
Wow, 70%. Huh. That's really interesting. I wonder, what factors might contribute to that. Kind of a big question. But so we've got the coaches, we've got this diverse group of clients. Did people just kind of flock to this? Was it easy to get people on board?
Well, you would think so, right? But that's actually one of the areas where things got kind of interesting.
Okay.
Recruiting clients was actually harder than they initially expected, even within the host organizations themselves.
Why was that? Like, who wouldn't want free, personalized help with their finances? I mean.
Yeah, it's a good question. And what they found was that a lot of people were they were unfamiliar with what financial coaching was. So the coaches actually ended up having to spend a lot of time, not just, advertising that they were available, but actually explaining the whole concept from scratch.
Oh, so they had to be educators in addition to being coaches.
Exactly, yeah. It was a real challenge for them.
So once people understood the idea, like what kind of goals were they coming to coaching for? I'm picturing, help with budgeting, maybe some debt management. Is that accurate?
Yeah. I mean, you're right. Some people definitely wanted help with, basic budgeting and money management skills.
Okay.
But then others had, goals that were a little more complex, like they wanted to reduce their debt or improve their credit score or even start a business.
Oh, wow. So it really kind of ran the gamut.
Yeah, totally.
Did they give any, like, specific client examples in the report?
Yeah, yeah. And some of them were really powerful.
Oh.
Like there was one client, her goal was to be able to save enough money to buy her daughter a prom dress without going into debt.
Oh, wow.
And then another one, he dreamed of starting his own food truck business,
Cool.
but he needed help creating like a financial plan,
Uh,
to make that dream a reality.
Those are great examples, yeah. It really kind of shows how personal and impactful these goals can be.
Yeah,
But I think, the big question on everybody's mind is, does it actually work?
right.
Does financial coaching actually help people make progress toward these goals?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
And luckily, this report does actually dig into how they measured the success of their coaching program.
Okay, good.
They used this tool called the Financial Capability Scale,
Okay.
or FCS for short.
FCS. Okay.
And they used this to track their clients' progress.
So tell me a little bit more about this FCS. Like, what exactly does it measure?
Yeah, so it's a standardized tool, and it measures things like your financial knowledge, your financial skills, and your financial behavior.
Okay.
So it kind of helps to paint a picture of your overall financial well-being.
So what did the FCS reveal about the effectiveness of the coaching? Like, did clients actually improve their scores after working with a coach?
Yeah, so the results were actually really encouraging.
Good.
57% of the clients actually showed a measurable improvement in their FCS score after they started working with a coach.
That's awesome. So over half the people who participated saw a real positive change in their financial well-being.
Exactly.
That's great.
And it wasn't just like a small change either.
Oh, good.
The data actually showed that clients who met with their coach more often tended to see bigger gains.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it really highlights the importance of having that consistent support and guidance.
So consistency is key. The more coaching, the better the results. But what about folks who could only, maybe squeeze in 1 or 2 sessions? Did they benefit at all?
Yeah, that's a really important point. And the data does show that even a single session can actually make a difference.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Yeah. It might not lead to like a huge jump on the FCS scale, but it can definitely provide that initial, spark of motivation and direction.
I love that it's about meeting people where they are and just giving them the tools to take those, first steps forward, even if they're small.
Right.
Now, I'm curious about the logistics of the coaching sessions. Like, were they all done in person or did they experiment with different formats?
Yeah. So what they found was that, while most clients chose to have that first meeting face-to-face,
Okay.
a lot of them actually transitioned to phone calls or emails or even video conferencing for the following sessions.
Oh, interesting. So there's a lot of flexibility built into this model.
Yeah.
That's great because it makes it more accessible to folks who, might have busy schedules or transportation issues.
Absolutely. And that adaptability is actually one of the key takeaways from this whole initiative. It really shows that financial coaching can be successfully integrated into all sorts of different settings.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be delivered in a way that really meets people's individual needs.
I'm seeing some broader lessons emerging here.
Yeah.
Based on this CFPB initiative, what would you say are some of the most important insights for anybody who's involved in, providing or promoting financial coaching?
Yeah. There are definitely a few key things to keep in mind.
Okay.
First and foremost, financial coaching can be woven into all kinds of different organizations.
Yeah.
It's not a one-size-fits-all model.
Right. It can thrive in a lot of different environments, which is fantastic for reaching different communities. Yeah.
Exactly. And the second thing that this CFPB experience really highlights is just how important those outreach and marketing skills are for coaches. It's not enough to just be available. You have to really get the word out and make sure that people actually understand what financial coaching is and what it can do for them.
Absolutely. You have to make sure they even know this resource exists, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the third takeaway is it's really all about finding coaches who have this kind of powerful combination of skills.
Okay.
They need to have the coaching skills, to really connect with people on a personal level.
Right.
But they also need the financial expertise,
Yeah.
to guide them effectively.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. You need that human touch along with the practical knowledge, right?
Exactly. And the CFPB initiative really does underscore just how powerful that combination can be when it comes to helping people take control of their finances.
Well, I'm so glad we took this deep dive into financial coaching. It's clear that it can be a real game changer for people's financial well-being.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm already thinking about all the possibilities here. This is definitely something I want to explore further.
I encourage you to. It's a really fascinating field, and the potential for positive impact is just enormous.
Speaking of impact, this report got me thinking about a bigger question.
Oh, I'm intrigued. What's on your mind?
If financial coaching can be this effective, help people actually reach their goals, like this report suggests, why isn't it more widespread?
Right. That's the big question, is it?
Yeah.
Like you would think with these results and, how easily it seems like it can be kind of integrated into these organizations, you'd think it would be more available, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, why wouldn't somebody want this help?
Yeah.
Is it that they don't know where to find it? Is there like a stigma attached to seeking this kind of guidance?
Yeah, those are definitely factors. And also we can't forget about cost.
Oh, right.
This CFPB initiative was offering the coaching for free. But that's not always the case. Financial coaching can be, like other forms of personal development.
Right.
It can be an investment.
Yeah, and even if somebody can't afford it, they might not really understand the value.
Right.
It's hard to prioritize, especially when you're already struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of that classic catch-22. The people who could benefit the most might be the least likely to be able to get it.
Right.
So it's a systemic issue that needs to be addressed. We need to figure out ways to make financial coaching both more affordable and more accessible.
Makes you wonder if technology could maybe play a role here.
Oh, absolutely.
Could online platforms or apps maybe bridge that gap a little bit?
For sure. I mean, technology has the potential to make it a lot more convenient for people.
Yeah.
Reaching people maybe in rural areas or people who have, really demanding schedules.
Right. Are there organizations or initiatives already kind of tackling this?
Yeah. Yeah, there are some really encouraging things happening.
Okay, good.
Some nonprofits, for instance, are offering like sliding scale fees or scholarships to make coaching more affordable.
That's great.
And even some employers are starting to offer it as an employee benefit.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it sounds like there's a real movement kind of gaining traction to make this more inclusive.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
But what about the coaches themselves? What kind of training and support do they need to be really effective at this?
Yeah. Well, that's where those key takeaways from the CFPB initiative really come in.
Okay. Yeah.
Remember, the coaches need to have that right combination of financial expertise and coaching skills.
Right.
They got to be able to explain these sometimes complicated financial concepts in a way that's clear and that people can understand.
Right.
But they also have to be able to build that rapport and that trust with their clients.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about creating like a safe space, an encouraging environment where people feel comfortable, exploring their challenges and their goals.
So it's more than just like crunching numbers. It's also about understanding like human behavior.
Right.
And creating like, positive change.
Exactly. It's about empowering people to really take control, not just dictating what they should do.
Okay, well, you've definitely inspired Emmy. I'm ready to go spread the word about the power of financial coaching.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The more people understand the value of this, the better.
For sure. This deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me. I'm already thinking about how I can kind of incorporate these insights into my own life.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And remember, financial coaching is something that can benefit anyone, regardless of their income or background. It's all about creating a life that you love.
I love that. Yeah. It's not just about the money. It's about aligning like your life with your values and aspirations.
Precisely. And that's what makes financial coaching so powerful. It's a holistic approach to well-being.
Well, I'm so glad we took this deep dive together. It's been insightful and inspiring.
Yeah, me too.
Before we wrap things up,
Okay.
where do you see this field heading in the next few years?
Oh, that's a really great question. I think we're going to see continued growth and innovation.
Okay.
We're already seeing more technology being used, like we were talking about,
Right.
to deliver coaching and make it more accessible and affordable. And I think we're going to see a much bigger emphasis on personalized coaching plans,
Okay.
tailored to each individual's needs and goals.
More customization and personalization. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
It seems like the future of financial coaching is really about, meeting people where they are and empowering them to create their own success stories.
Exactly. Moving away from that one-size-fits-all model.
Right.
Towards something that's much more individualized and holistic.
It feels like we're kind of on the verge of a of a real transformation in how people view and manage their money.
I think so.
And that's a really positive thing for everyone.
Absolutely. I mean, financial well-being is such a crucial component of our overall well-being. When people feel financially secure, they're able to lead happier, healthier,
Right.
and more fulfilling lives.
Well said. Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling very motivated.
Good.
Before we wrap up, let's make sure that our listeners know where they can learn more.
Good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to include some helpful resources in the show notes for everyone.
Perfect. And for anybody who's ready to take that next step and find a financial coach, we'll make sure to include some tips on how to get started.
Absolutely. We'll hook everybody up. Financial coaching is such a valuable resource, and we want to make sure that everyone has access to it.
This deep dive it's been a real game changer for me, and I hope it's been just as insightful for our listeners. But before we sign off, I want to leave you with one final thought to kind of ponder.
Oh, I'm all ears.
We've talked about, all the benefits of financial coaching for individuals, right? But what about the broader impact? What if financial coaching was more widely available? What if more people were utilizing it? How could that transform our communities and our society as a whole?
That's a powerful question.
Yeah.
It's one that I really encourage everyone to consider. What if financial literacy and well-being was no longer just a privilege, but a right?
Right.
What kind of world could we create if everyone had the tools and the support they needed to thrive financially?
It's an exciting vision, and it all starts with, spreading the word.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, tell a friend, tell a family member, tell anyone who could benefit from this incredible resource. Let's start a movement.
I'm with you on that. Knowledge is power, and financial knowledge is especially powerful.
Yes.
So let's empower everyone to take control of their financial futures and build a brighter future for all.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into financial coaching. We'll be back next time with another fascinating topic. Really makes you think, huh?
It does.
Like, imagine a world where financial stress is just less common.
Yeah.
And where people, they just feel more confident in their choices about money.
Right. That would be huge.
Yeah.
And think about the ripple effect,
Oh, yeah.
That kind of shift would impact, everything from healthcare to education to how people get ahead, economic mobility.
Yeah, exactly. It could even, lead to a more equitable society. When when they feel secure financially, they've got more opportunities to be involved in their communities. And to contribute.
It's true. Financial well-being, it opens doors,
Yeah.
And this CFPB initiative, aside from helping all those individuals, it kind of laid the groundwork for the future of coaching itself.
Oh, okay. How so?
All that data, all those insights they gathered that can help us refine how we do this, even make these services better.
What would you say is like the biggest takeaway from the whole initiative? What really stood out to you?
I think for me, it's how powerful it can be to integrate financial coaching into organizations and systems that already exist.
Right.
Like the CFPB strategy of partnering with all those different host organizations. It shows that this stuff can work in all kinds of places.
Yeah, right, where people already are.
Exactly.
It's kind of brilliant when you think about it, whether it's a job center, a clinic, even a school. It's just meeting people where they are.
Yeah, and when you do that, when you make it part of these structures, it's more convenient, right?
Right.
And more accessible.
It also kind of helps to normalize the idea of asking for help.
Huge, yeah.
Because for some people, that's a barrier.
For sure. It takes away that stigma, like, it's okay to ask for help with your finances. Just as important as taking care of your physical health or your mental health.
The CFPD initiative also, it really showed how important it is to have coaches who are well-trained, who've got the knowledge, the skills to really make a difference.
It's all about that sweet spot, isn't it?
Yeah.
The balance of the expertise, the actual financial stuff, but also the empathy.
Right, because a good coach, they're not just an advisor.
Right.
They're a guide, a mentor.
Someone you can trust.
Yeah, someone who can empower their clients. And this report gives us, some really great insights into what makes a successful coach.
It does.
For our listeners who might be thinking about this as a career, we'll include some resources on training, and certification in the show notes.
That's a great idea. There are some fantastic programs out there.
Well, this has been such an insightful deep dive. I feel more empowered just from learning all this. Hopefully our listeners are feeling that way too.
I hope so.
So, no matter where you are in your financial journey, you're not alone. There are resources out there. You can achieve your goals.
You can.
And build a brighter future.
Absolutely. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Seek out some guidance and invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Invest in your well-being. One of the best investments you can make.
That's the truth.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the world of financial coaching. It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
The pleasure was all mine. Really enjoyed it.
And to everyone listening, knowledge is power. The more we learn about this stuff, the more empowered we become to create a better future for ourselves and our communities. So until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep diving deep.